Hello and welcome to another edition of the Four Corners Podcast. I'm Steven.
I'm Zach.
I'm Colin.
Scott.
And today we just got back from seeing the Avengers, the Infinity War, and we're going to be doing our review on it. And as a disclaimer, there will be spoilers in this. So if you choose not to listen to this one or you haven't seen the movie yet, we are giving you a fair warning right now that there will be spoilers for this movie throughout this podcast.
Right, meow.
Lots and lots of spoilers.
Literally the whole damn movie. So
Yeah, pretty much. We're gonna pick this thing apart.
Yeah, pretty much.
all right. So you've been warned. You will be warned in the comments, or you will be warned in the description.
Video.
You will be warned in the fucking name of the damn movie or the name of the damn podcast. No bitching is allowed, or I'm gonna make fun of you. So with that being
Shocking
said-
news.
With that being said, who wants to start? I don't care.
Can I ask my question?
Do it. Do the thing.
Okay.
He's gonna ruin the whole fucking movie in the first 30 seconds.
I
I'm
just
going to talk about the hyenas.
no.
No.
Oh, okay, so make it sure.
Hyenas in the Pride Land.
No, my question is, all right. So when they made it well known that hey, Thanos is coming to fucking ruin shit, and he's coming for the fucking time stone.
Which time? Oh, okay, I was going to say which time. They did that a lot through the
when
movie.
when they all went in the very beginning, when they sat and they met up with Strange.
No, the first scene?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, because
No, you're right. You're right.
they
You're
said
right.
a lot.
So they're meeting, and the minute they tell Strange how powerful this man is, if Strange can control time, why didn't he go back then and just off Thanos and prevent this whole fucking thing?
You have to remember he had already had one Infinity Stone before the movie started.
No, but he brings up a point though, is he could shapeshift time because Thanos actually shapeshifts to getting the Mind Stone.
Yep. And that is what made me want to ask this on the podcast, because Strange could have went right back in fucking time and like, no fucker, you ain't doing diddly shit. So
Well, the other thing too is like, why didn't he do that when Iron Man got stabbed? I mean,
I think because he lived.
doesn't hurt.
Had it not been a wound that he could have came back from, I think he would have been offed. But I want to say the one thing that I had kind of reservations on, and I was scared how they were going to do it, they actually did amazing on it, was the balance of screen time everybody was going to get.
Mhm.
I thought everybody got a fair amount, and it was a nice blend. You didn't really get... They didn't spend enough time on one scene like, alright, I'm really fucking bored with this. No, as soon as like they got the message, they went to the next grouping of people.
It was good. I think the whole movie was put together well. I mean, it's what we expect from Marvel at this point. Pretty much, outside of maybe one or two little stinkers, they've had some pretty good movies. So, I thought it was good as a whole. The ending was interesting. I think a lot of people had questions about how it ended. Well, those of us who don't really
If you
follow the
read the
comics.
comics. So
Well, right, but you got to think though. There's two movies,
yeah.
and in reality, the first one was what it was supposed to do. Basically, Thanos getting the Infinity Stones, and then the second one is basically them stopping him.
They're trying to find a way to get whatever they've got left.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, the death total is 10.
My question is, why were those select ones killed?
Well, A,
That one's interesting.
because of who didn't die.
They wanted to kill all the hot chicks and make Colin sad.
No, if you think about it, the people who didn't die were the original four: Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk.
Yeah.
They didn't die, and
they-
the two people that in the comics help kill Thanos, because him and I were talking about it, and everybody from the Guardians except for one died.
Rocket was the only one that survived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Rocket.
And now, is there any type of, like, when we get to the conclusion of this, is there anything that they're gonna do to bring these guys back, or are they're done?
Nope.
Well, I have a theory, and I'm probably going to be wrong, but I can see this as a dream sequence.
What do you mean the dream sequence?
Well, I don't remember if you guys have seen Iron Man 3.
Somewhat, yes.
Well, he keeps going back in the sequence where he sees that everybody's gonna die, and it is at the throne Nobody knows why. It's just a throne sitting there. That's Thanos' throne, and could it be his dream sequence? Maybe. There's a plot. It's plausible.
Do you think on that? I wanted to add on to this. When Doctor Strange was sitting there having that meditation thing,
I was going to talk about this.
Do you think what happened from that point on was one of the outcomes? And in the second part, they go back to that exact moment, and Strange is like, "All right, I know what we need to do."
But how did they do that with Thanos having the time stone?
What if he hasn't gotten the time stone yet? Because that.
But how do
happened-
you use the time stone to go back?
No, that part happened before Thanos.
I
got
think
the
what
time
he's
stone.
thinking. I think what he's thinking is basically we're living. Everything from that time on, we're living in his meditation, and he's seeing what happens in this timeline,
That's
and
fair.
then
That's a fair statement.
and then it'll rewind back,
That's a fair
and then
statement.
it'll be.
Okay.
Because I think you could get to something like maybe a false ending, like something super catastrophic happens. Maybe you get to like a false ending, and like Thanos has killed
Everybody.
everyone. Like there's no hope. World is his, utter destruction and ruling of the world. And then Strange comes back and is like, okay.
Well, because remember, he said there was like 14 million something
14
outcomes.
And there's one that we win.
That we win, yeah. I could see that as being a plausible thing for them to do.
But do you? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're fine.
do you think that the one outcome of them winning was him handing over the time stone? Because he said he saw all the possible outcomes,
14 million.
and he saw the one that worked, and I don't think he would have given him the stone if that did not play into the part with them winning.
But if he saw it, then why would he have done it?
If that's the one possibility that lets them beat him. Because remember, there were 14
True.
14
True,
billion or
I'll give you
million
Million, yeah.
that
Well,
failed.
But also, too, the other thing that you got to take into effect is the second movie is going to have a few characters that were not in this movie.
Yeah, you're gonna get Wasp,
Wasp,
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, Hawkeye, more than likely. You're also going to
the
get
Krillin of the Marvel Universe.
What does that mean?
Krillin's a DBZ character that dies pretty much if you look at him wrong.
Yeah, pretty
He's made out of glass.
So
You would not know anything.
Who is that character?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Why do you disrespect Hawkeye like that? First off, you're comparing him to any DBZ character. That's
Shut your
terrible.
mouth.
DBZ's
Anyway,
garbage.
anyway,
Waste
We're doing a podcast on DBZ.
I'm down with that.
I'm gonna spend an hour
Um,
insulting you.
Shocking.
God, it's like all the others.
I know, right? But like, because a lot of stuff because even I was sitting there thinking, I was like, why did they kill off the Guardians? And then I realized in the second Guardians movie, the Nova Corps is there. So they take the spot of Guardians. They are quote unquote the new Guardians of the Galaxy is the Nova Corps. And then you've also got Ant-Man, Wasp, Hawkeye.
You know it's bad when you're counting on Hawkeye to come save the day.
Well, Scarlet's there too, so. And then of course you got the after credit scene too, which.
Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, did
We've
you,
already said spoilers, so you can say whatever you
yeah,
want.
Zach, did you notice anything in the movie that? Because I saw because I was sitting next to you in the movie theater, and you made a couple of like gestures of like.
Oh yeah, with Red Skull.
You mean Voldemort?
Dressed as a Dementor?
Yes.
For the record, Scotty didn't get hit in the nuts.
Yeah.
No, I thought it would have been.
So
But clarify
let
that,
me
yeah.
clarify this situation. So we're sitting on Saturday. We're sitting.
You three
we're
are.
eating
I
at
was-
Golden Corral.
Yeah, we're
I
still
was-
going cross.
I was
Yeah,
not-
we were at Golden Corral having lunch.
I was
So-
not invited to this.
So we're sitting there.
No, you weren't.
And Scott says, "I hope he dies. I just hope he dies." I'm like, "You're a fucking dick, dude. Why do you want a little baby tree to fucking
He wasn't
die?"
a baby tree; he was a teenager.
Well,
By the way, he got his too.
well, I know he did. But.
yeah, like they killed Doctor Strange, which.
So anyway, so we're sitting there. He's like, "I hope he catches us on fire." And I said, "Scott, I swear to God, if he catches on fire in the movie, I'm punching you in the dick."
Wouldn't it be funny to see Thanos chasing him with a flamethrower?
No!
He'd be adorable. He's just like, I am Groot.
Well, he technically did have a flamethrower, just not in the same scene as Groot.
Yeah.
God, when he had that flamethrower, I was like, I kept looking over at Zach. I was like, oh, if this little fuck spawns,
Oh, I would have been pissed. I was like, well.
he's gonna try to turn my testicles into a punching bag.
So, needless
I
to
spent
say,
half my time answering questions.
at the movie theater, it went Colin, Jessica, Scott, myself, and Steven. And I looked over at Scott midway, partway through the movie. I was like, I swear to God, Scott, if he fucking dies by fire, your balls are gonna be fucking hurting.
Yeah, I sat there half the time and just was like, who's that? What's going on? What's that? And I'm just like, this is what's going on. Here you go.
There's
like-
another thing I wanted to
I
bring
spent
up. I
most of the
think
time
that will happen in the second one. I think, and they made too big of a deal for this to not happen. So
It's not gonna happen.
I think that I personally think it'll happen. So I mean that doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but they made such a big deal about Hulk not being able to transform.
And there's a reason for that.
I think they kill. There's gonna be a death. I think that's gonna trigger him to go fucking batshit.
And you know who it's gonna be, right?
It's gonna be Scarlet.
It's probably
It's gonna be
I think
Scarlet.
It's
Scarlet.
gonna be
It's gonna be Black Widow.
Well, but see, the one thing is like, and this was in the opening scene, and I feel like kind of set the tone for Hulk. Hulk got his ass whooped
Mm-hmm.
by Thanos. Straight up whooped him.
Not at first though.
Dude, yeah, okay.
It-
Okay,
it-
you're right, you're right.
The
you're right,
first
you're
like
right.
30 seconds of the fight.
Right.
He did get the jump. But the other thing that I had a hard time with, alright, so was it Loki that made the comment, we have a Hulk?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
that was Loki.
then if Loki pretty much just double crossed Thanos right then and there, I know Thanos went on to kill him
Yeah.
before the end of that, but why wouldn't he just fucking killed him right then and there after he dealt with Hulk? Like, alright, fucker, you think you have a Hulk? Well, I've got your life, so.
Well, he's also called God of Mischief,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it makes sense for him to go back and forth between good, evil,
He's
good,
a
evil.
god of nothing right
Well,
now.
right.
Yeah. He's
Well,
currently
but
dead.
Hulk got his ass whooped, and granted, it was because he had the Power Stone, the Power Gem, or the Power Infinity Stone,
Yeah.
right then and there, which was kind of weird that that was the first one I was taking. I would have figured the Tesseract
They didn't
would have been
even
the
they
first
didn't
one.
even clarify how he got it. I don't think in part.
No, they really no. Well, according to that, he went to Asgard and beat the fuck out of our Asgard and just stole it.
Listen, and that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. and just in the way that they did the third Thor, because if you sit and watch, Banner goes in and says, you know, if I go into Hulk one more time, there is a great possibility that I don't come back. It's just going to be Hulk. Now, after that, at the very end of Thor, Asgard's completely destroyed by Hela.
Yeah, the sister.
Goddess of Death.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure when Thanos snuck in and said, "Oh, hey, here, I'm going to take this, whatever."
Yeah, tough shit. It's
Yeah,
mine.
I don't know where that went. I bet, so, there's that piece that fits.
I guess the only problem I really had with the movie was Thanos. They showed too much of a human side to him with Gamora.
I will hold on. I don't have an issue with that. I actually thought that was needed
Well played.
because.
Well, to get the Soul Stone, you're right.
Well, no, hold on. Briefly to discuss something that happens in a lot of Batman stuff, a lot of his villains. There is some type of sympathetic reason. Like at some point, you will feel sorry for one of the Batman villains.
I.e. Joker.
They took a well.
Joker's not really. I feel sorry for.
I think that's the one exception. Everybody else has had something like Freeze, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, etc. With Thanos, they gave him that brief sympathetic thing where he did love his daughter, but it was a brief second of sympathy because he eventually goes on to kill her to obtain ultimate power.
Right.
So I was okay with them giving you a moment of sympathy.
They gave you a lot more.
I was-
Yeah,
I was-
it was.
when- When they were going into visit with Black Panther, I was sitting there thinking, because I never saw Black Panther, and I was sitting there like, they had that big bubble thing. I'm like, is Wonder Woman in this movie?
No, it was.
Please let it happen.
I thought it was another play from Harry Potter, like at the Hogwarts when they had the shield over the school.
Dumbledore pops up. No.
But the one thing, the fight scene, I can't let that fucking go.
Which one? There was like 80 of
The
them.
big one at the end, like when
Oh.
when all the people are trying to funnel in.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Why open such a big fucking gap? Open up one.
Because the one intelligent person in that fucking whole area is busy working on vision to actually pay attention.
Let them come in one at a time. You've got some of the most skilled fucking people in the world at killing. You had a goddamn assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Just have her cut them off as they come in.
Just stand by the gate. Have them stand by the gate and like droves. Just start.
I mean, you
slicing
guys can
stuff.
come in, but I mean, you're not going to take more than like 5 steps.
It was.
Wakanda, bitch, you're dead.
Yeah. That was an interesting thought. I didn't really understand why he did that. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. Because you open the floodgates to get your ass kicked.
But the reason was to buy them time because if you
Oh, boy, that'll work.
But see, but here's the thing though. What you don't understand is they were circling around. They get on the backside of them, they're fucked because they're flanked. You have nowhere to go. You have to open it up because that way, hey, everybody and their brother's gonna be coming through that hole. Ain't nobody gonna try to get it around.
It's like the Colts offensive line.
He's got a
I
point.
mean, you got a point. I mean, but that was smart to open that up to keep them from flanking them.
You can't flank us if we leave the hole open in the middle.
Exactly.
Shoot that A gap.
I mean,
What? Another thing I thought was really, really cool and unique with this movie. So over the course of 10 years, you've seen all these individual installments. And I'm sure the questions have arose with the people that have watched, or fans, or comic fans, or what have you, of, wow, wouldn't it be really cool if they paired this character with this character?
Yeah.
I personally thought, and it involved my 2 favorites, so I'm biased on this. I thought Doctor Strange and Iron Man being paired together for most of the movie was fucking hysterical, and likely the funniest parts of the movie was their jabs back and forth and whatnot. What were your... When he called him a douchebag.
we all fucking laughed.
What was your guys' favorite pairings throughout the movie?
I mean, I would say that
That's one definitely.
was Strange and Iron Man,
Thor and the rabbit.
Thor and Rocket, yeah, but also Thor and Groot.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
The fact that like Thor was the only one besides Rocket who understands Rabbit. Yeah,
You almost called him rabbit.
yeah. But the fact that Thor was the other one, and he just says, "You understand Groot?" He goes, "Yeah, it's an elective."
Yeah.
Okay, because Asgard can speak Groot apparently.
Yeah.
But I mean, having those guys, and then also seeing the reunification of everyone, especially after the Civil War and everything.
Well, they're not all unified yet.
Ant-Man.
No, Iron Man's group, what's left of it, was not
True.
unified.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they stayed their separate course.
Yeah, you're right.
I think Scarlet and Vision was an interesting combo because finding out that Scarlet Witch was in love with Vision after
Yeah.
how it.
they played on that on Civil War though, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit, but not
Yeah.
as much detail.
Zach, what was your favorite pairing?
I liked all the ones that we were talking about so far, but I really kind of enjoyed. And it was very, very brief, but it was Banner and Widow, because
Yeah.
Banner has this thing, you know, it's like a love triangle. It's like Banner and Widow, and then it's Cap and Widow from Civil War. So it's just like,
I was thinking Hawkeye and Widow, but
well,
No.
no.
Hawkeye's married.
Hawkeye doesn't deserve happiness.
Shut up.
Well, the other
he's
one.
the best. He's the best one in the
Well,
show.
the other one that I didn't mean to like take it back, Zach, but was Bucky and Rocket.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was
yeah,
fun.
that was a
How much
funny
is the
group.
gun? Not for sale. How much for the arm?
He just makes that, you know.
And then he
Leave me
picks them
alone.
up and just starts twirling and starts shooting.
Another one that was interesting, I thought, was Widow and Scarlet Witch too, because they were just, you know, because Widow basically told her, "I told you guys to stay close," and they're fucking over in Scotland while they're fucking fighting. You know.
Scarlet wanted her some vision. What do you want him?
Well, I don't disclaim that. I'm just saying, you know, she said, "Hey, you gotta stay close because we can't see you because we're in Wakanda, and we don't know what's going on because we don't have the gifts that you have, the telepathy and all that shit. So I think
Vision also took the tracker off,
Right,
He
that
he
too.
turned it off.
and they couldn't find him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying you cannot reason with Venom, or not Venom. I'm sorry, with Vision. You can't
You
reason.
can't reason with Venom either.
No.
That's in October.
But anyway, but you can reason with Scarlet Witch. You know, you use reason. It plays out. She sees that. Okay, fine. Ugh. I can understand why she was frustrated with her.
It was an internal
Funny-
frustration.
Funniest joke in the movie. I think with Rocket and Thor, when Rocket gives Thor his eye, and is like,
It's like a
you might
smuggle.
want to watch that. I had to smuggle that in my ass.
It's all dark.
You could actually, this actually had the feel of a final installment that they have no plans to do anything else with this afterwards. What I had noticed, they played pretty loose with the cuss words and obscene gestures. That is not a staple of Marvel for what this was rated.
Yeah, I mean,
PG-13.
they threw a middle finger in there. I saw that. That was
Yeah,
great.
dude.
Yeah,
Douchebag.
shit, bastard, all the $5 cuss words were on display.
That we enjoy.
Yeah, there was no "see you next Tuesday" reference.
Give it time.
But what I'm saying is, like, it had the feel of, like, they're getting it out of their system, like, they had it. These were some things maybe they wanted to throw in, but they couldn't. But now's the time. We're at the end. This is the end game.
Yeah.
Fuck, go out, have your blow-off party, and go on.
And see, and
everybody's
that's
gonna
kind of
die
like,
anyways.
for me, I told Steven this on the way back from the theater, but it really, I wish that they would have expanded on the Civil War a little bit more to make the storylines a little bit bigger for this.
That'd been a 5-hour show.
I agree. No, I understand that, but I would have liked to have seen that because you get more of the play. Because you have to think too, some of the X-Men were involved with Thanos. You know, there's some other people that play a little bit of a role with that.
Do you think they get an X-Men or two for the second half?
Down to
But in the comics, the X-Men, because I haven't read the comics on this,
Right.
the X-Men actually have something to do with this in the comics?
very small.
They're more involved in the Civil War than they are in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
And they weren't in the Civil War at all.
but I mean,
Yeah, they were.
But
The X-Men?
X-Men?
Oh, I thought you were talking about comic ones. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was talking about the movie.
Oh, okay. I'm
It's
sorry.
like they couldn't afford him.
Well,
Nice deadly reference.
when you read the entire thing, Thanos kills everybody in the Marvel universe. Like, legitimately, it's not just the Avengers, it's not just the Nova Corps, it's not just the Guardians, it's fucking everybody.
Do you? We asked this because we had a pre-talk before we started recording because we're waiting on Colin's pizza that's yet to arrive.
Seriously, be aware that's going to be here soon.
hope.
Maybe.
Did you get the message?
No, I haven't got it.
Oh, you're not going to get it.
Ha!
So you should have ordered from a better pizza place.
You know what? I'm paying in cash, so I didn't get charged anything yet. So
That's good.
if they don't,
You actually should try to get it free when it shows up. I know we've discussed Pizza Hut before, but you should like, hey, I get my pizza for free.
I'm not doing it. I'm not an asshole.
You ordered that pizza at what time?
9:00.
It's almost 11.
It's 10:40.
You should honestly, you shouldn't have to pay for that pizza.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess you're probably not gonna get it either.
I better.
Did you tell them to deliver it here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, cool. Just making sure.
But
Anyway.
back
Yeah, sorry.
to the Avengers.
We didn't.
Do you think that? Do you know of any rhyme or reason why they selected the people to be vaporized? That word.
Kind of. At least I think I understand that.
I'm open. I mean, I don't know why these people.
Besides making Colin sad.
Because they killed off. Let's see if we can name them.
10. There's 10.
They
to
killed
go.
off Black Panther. They killed off.
Go in the order that they died.
I don't remember the order.
Oh,
I do.
I do.
Okay.
I
Jesus
do.
Christ! Thanks you. Okay, go ahead.
It was Loki, Gamora.
No. When
Just
they-
in the dusty part.
in the dusty part.
Oh, my
At
bad.
the very
I thought you were
end.
talking about in total.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no. Fuck. I understand why Loki died. He pissed off and lied to Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falcon
And
died.
Gamora died because he needed the Soul Stone because
Yeah.
he's a piece of shit.
So Falcon dies.
Yeah, Falcon.
Bucky,
Bucky.
Black Panther, Groot, Drax,
Quill.
Quill,
Star Lord.
That's
Star
the same-
Wars
so
Quill.
Star Lord
Star
and
Wars
Quill are
Quill.
the same person.
Scarlet.
You forgot about the
Doctor
the
Strange.
witch chick, the one with the
I said Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Oh,
No,
Mantis.
Mantis.
Mantis too.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man dies.
By the way, that was one of the most gut-wrenching
That
tearjerkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man is holding him, and he tells me, he's like, I don't want to die. And it was like, they had touched on Iron Man having
Child.
a child, and I honestly think that'll be something else they call back to. I think you'll see a scene afterwards where he names his son
Peter Parker.
Peter.
Peter.
Yeah.
I think that'll be something to do. But it was really, that was sad to see, because like he was holding him, and Iron Man knew there was nothing that he could do to save him, that he was dead.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to get technical, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And
but see, if you think about it, though, okay,
And the sister for,
Scarlet. I said
no,
Scarlet.
the sister of Black Panther.
She's not.
She-
I don't include that.
I will tell you, because you haven't seen Black Panther, she is a very, very important, she's a very, very important person.
Are you talking about the one who works on Vision?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She
yeah,
is a very,
died.
very important,
And
Yeah.
also Vision died.
yeah.
Well, Vision got his
Vision
shit
died
rocked.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's twice.
Vision couldn't stop getting killed.
But okay,
He's
you-
Krillin.
fucking A. If you think about it, though, what do all of those have in common?
They're superheroes.
No.
They're dead.
Keep going.
I mean, they are all in common so far.
Right.
They were good guys.
Keep going.
No, Bucky wasn't a good guy.
Okay, but in the story, what are they?
In Thanos' way.
They're secondary characters.
Yeah. Falcon.
Oh, hold the fuck up now. Doctor Strange died. We were not allowed to disrespect.
He's a thirdary character. He's not even secondary.
Died.
But if you think about
This
it,
motherfucker. Hold on. No, I'm not done.
You disrespected the worst character in the
fucking
show.
go.
Strange has the most important fucking Infinity Stone.
Time travel.
Tom? I'm pretty sure if he wants, he can.
Soul.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah? Well, what happens when Mr. Soul gets his time rewound and they stop Old Boy from
All
throwing
right, all
off?
right, all right.
Yeah,
I'll give
he's
you
got the most important
Then
stuff.
Voldemort comes back.
Really do. But in reality, though, they're secondary characters.
Yeah, they are.
No, like I don't mean that as a
And
shot
Spider-Man
to.
is a secondary character?
Yes.
Doctor
In
Strange.
the Avengers,
Yes.
the Avengers storyline, everybody that died is a secondary character.
He's not wrong, and it's not disrespect to the tertiary character of Doctor Strange, but
tertiary
yeah, I learned that fucking word the other day. Anyway,
Spell it.
T-U-R Sherry.
hold on. But the main people that lived have been in all the Avengers movies up to that point
Minus
for the
two.
most
Minus two.
Yeah,
Minus two.
Which were the two?
Nebula and Rocket.
Rocket.
Right. But like Strange came recently.
Mhm.
Phrasing.
So
Really?
But most of the characters that died weren't outside of those two that are important for the
Yeah.
death of Thanos.
Uh-huh.
All those characters were really, they weren't there from step 1, step 2, and step 3. They were really towards the end of this run, like the past 2 or 3 years, not
Did-
the first 5.
Did Nebula live?
Yes.
Yes, Nebula.
Okay.
She lived.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she did.
And we all know
Her,
why she
her,
lived.
her and Iron Man were together.
Say they went through that spree of like every other character they showed
Mhm.
just passed. I was like, fuck.
Not to mention Thanos was literally fucking torturing people on a fucking galactic level. I mean, he used, I can't remember what weapon he used on Nebula, but he was fucking her
The
shit
Cruciatus
up.
curse.
Yeah, he was fucking
Oh,
her
when he was
shit
ripping-
up.
when he was ripping her like limb from limb.
Yeah, he was basically ripping her apart.
Yeah.
And of course, she's a robot essentially, so it's not like she can, just
I
automatically
also-
She
die.
is.
What they
Yes,
did,
essentially.
Part android.
what they were doing to Doctor Strange was not anything to.
Oh no.
They were shoving shards of glass into this fucker's face,
Yeah.
or what appeared to be glass.
Actually, it was shoving it into his nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would have been a really good fucking callback?
Hmm.
So, if they would have done something to his hands,
Who?
because
Strange.
Strange.
tried to.
Because
No. When they're injecting like the shard instead of his face
Oh,
to
okay.
his hands, because like I think that would have been a really cool fucking like callback.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't get enough cool callbacks or like
Right.
some really strong foreshadowing, but the hand thing would have been nice to see.
Right.
Not was it needed? No. Would have been cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that flashback would have been pretty cool.
yeah, I mean they turned Mantis into a literal fucking mantis,
Yeah.
and then Drax into a bunch of
Rocks.
rocks. I mean, like a bunch of gobbledygook. I mean, it was fucking insanity.
Oh, we also
Yeah,
forgot a
obviously.
couple more people that died at the end credit. Samuel Jackson goes,
I said Nick Fury.
Yeah,
and so did the chick.
I don't care about her.
how
There you go.
fucking dare you, sir?
What? She's
in
a
How I-
tertiary character.
She's in How I Met Your Mother. So thanks for using my fucking word against me, you little cock.
Homer's bigger than he is.
Fuck you.
Shut up, Squee.
Thank you.
Bald
I was
eagle.
trying to remember what the fucking nickname was.
Of course you can't remember.
What?
Stick boy.
Hey, fuck you, Squee.
Not time
Why
you
don't
got
you
it
go
right.
crawl in a fucking hole?
At least I fit.
Well, yeah, you're the only one who would.
Exactly. I'm
Well, I don't know. You're a stick puss. You probably could fit it.
No,
Anyway.
my legs
So-
are too long.
With the direction that it went, this might be a stupid question, but I want to ask it on the podcast
It
anyway.
is.
Was it worth the wait?
Absolutely.
Yes.
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 10 out of 10.
10 out of, are we safe to say?
9.99 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was probably
I'd give
one
it
little
the-
thing that
well-
they could have added.
Yes, but I.
It's hard to say what they
Well,
could have
but
added.
here's the problem, though. Okay, so obviously, I read the stuff and I follow up on it. And probably the only person who comes close is probably Zach. At least out of us four. You know, I know there's more people out there, but
Yeah, we ever do a DC one, I'll be able to contribute.
yeah, you done there. You got that one all to yourself. I'll
Yeah.
get to that one. But they didn't do, or they didn't go into detail as to why Thanos is doing what he's doing.
I think you'll get that in Act 2.
I hopefully do. I mean, other than the fact that it's all power,
Now,
but there is an actual story to why he's doing what he's doing.
can I ask you this because it'd make sense.
That's me. Like, well, it doesn't mean you like the answer.
Well, but
What is happening over here?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
No more.
Go ahead.
do you think that Thanos, you know, let's say they don't give the backstory. Do you think they just do a standalone movie alone and it tells you?
Well, that'd be fucking sweet.
Because I know,
I'd like
I want to see more purple Bruce Willis.
well, yeah, but I'm thinking. Here's the thing that I'm thinking: if you show them,
Is that the
okay,
face?
this is what happens. This is at the very end what happens. You can always go back and say, hey, this is where he came from, and you can tie it into these two movies.
Well, they did do that technically because he reverted back to his home after he destroyed everybody and brought it back to what he once knew it as.
Right, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Though you're gonna, I want to see. I'm of the opinion you show the destruction first, and then you go back and tell why this is this.
You're asking for the one thing that Harry Potter fans have wanted ever since it wrapped is like Voldemort backstory.
Yeah, like a backstory to it.
Similar to how they did the Deadpool movie. They showed a lot of him killing shit, and then they went, "This is why he's Deadpool."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
similar to how they want to do that.
But you can't do that with what they were doing with this movie because the cast is so fucking big. And these people got paid a hefty fucking amount of money, so you're gonna use them.
Well, they already broke Star Wars opening weekend.
Well, of course they did. They're amazing.
I'm curious if they break the total gross, which was at like 1 billion something.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's
They
been
make a
10
lot of
years in
money.
the making.
Mhm.
They're gonna make some
But at the end of this movie, though, they also show you that they're not done.
Uh-uh.
No.
They're not done by a long shot.
No.
That's why I don't agree with the whole like this is the end of it. There's too many characters to not be seen.
Well, you got with Carnage coming, you've got Miss.
Well,
Marvel.
I'm talking-
None of those
No,
characters I
I'm-
think
I'm
are
talking-
going to be in.
Yeah, but I'm saying this. It's not this This is just a chapter ending. This isn't the universe completely.
I'm saying like, if you look at the
I know where
characters,
he's going though.
if you look at the characters in this movie that you can make a standalone film off of and be watchable, that you haven't already done,
At least one.
who do you have left that?
Captain Marvel.
Probably, I could see going into the backstory of Black Widow, maybe. But
they're-
That might be the one.
They've already
that happens.
confirmed that that's going to happen.
Well, here's the other thing. If they could do a Hulk backstory, but they never
They've
get
tried
it
it.
fucking
They can't
right.
make
They
it
can
right
never
twice.
get it fucking right.
They tried it twice.
Yeah, that would be the one.
And
I'm
they
not.
can't-
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that would be one that would be watchable if they could get it right.
Well, then they can't ever decide on a fucking thing for Spider-Man because poor Uncle Ben. I mean,
He dies every week.
how many times we gotta let you go?
To be
the
fair,
only-
the Homecoming they didn't do an origin story. They just immediately went into.
I mean,
Which is
we get it.
That's better. I don't
we
like
get
origin
it.
stories.
Ben dies. You got bit by a spider.
Move along
Yeah, we don't need to see it again.
for the 4th time in like a decade.
Right.
I did like this version of Spider-Man. I was a huge fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I thought it was
The first movie
First two.
two.
First two.
Third one is where it kind of went off the rail.
where they went into emo.
But
Is that
My
the
big
one?
thing with that is Venom was bigger or was not bigger than Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
but you got to think the state of movies back then it's night and day difference right now.
I know, but
They're gonna I think they'll right the ship there eventually.
yeah, in October.
Yeah. So that's gonna be an interesting movie. Because Carnage will be in it too, I think.
I don't know because I think it's a Venom Origins movie.
I think you might get a foreshadow or an Easter egg.
I agree.
But okay, Steven, you got to go into this. Okay, so we watched the end credits. He calls for Mr. Marvel, or Captain
Who?
Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel's a girl.
Yes, Captain Marvel. I don't know diddly dick about Captain Marvel, as evidenced by the fact that I thought it was a guy. So
Yeah, no, it's a girl.
She basically rivals what Superman can do in the DC universe.
Mhm.
okay,
She is.
that's what I was interested in. Isn't there another bigger, badder guy than Thanos? He's in the
Yeah, his name's Darkseid.
No,
No, it's
no,
DC.
not DC, you dumbass. He's in the Marvel vs. Capcom, Games.
Fuck.
the big purple and red looking dude. I think is what his name is.
Michael?
Galactus.
Galactus? I don't know. As long as you get the right director, you'll have it.
They already shit on him.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
You make him a fucking cloud.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what happened?
Yeah.
Rise of the Silver Surfer was Galactus, and they made him a fucking cloud.
Okay, okay. First off.
No, I'm serious. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be.
All right, let's be realistic. Anything with the Fantastic Four is out.
Well, and they're supposed
They're
to
not
be-
even in the movies.
Well, no, but what I'm saying though is like,
Were they
That's
in
the-
the comics?
what?
The Fantastic
I
Four.
believe
Civil
they're-
War, yes.
Yeah.
Civil War, yes. Avengers, no.
They weren't in
So this is what-
Infinity Wars. They weren't in Infinity Wars.
Nope.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Are you gonna live through this?
I'll be alright.
My question is, so you have Captain Marvel coming in and,
Mhm.
projectively speaking, Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is-
of course.
Is there anybody else you think comes in?
I'm trying to think. Well, no, because Iron Patriot is not there.
Yeah, he died.
He died.
Yeah, no. Those are the only ones that I can think of right now. And the only reason why the Nova Corps is because of Guardians 2. You have to watch that to understand why.
I think we all did.
I don't know if you did or not.
We watched.
No, you wanna know the
videos.
funny part is, when it comes to the individual installments, I've seen Doctor Strange 4 times.
Shocking.
Not even a good character.
Fuck off and die, stick boy. I've seen the first 2 Iron Men.
Really? I skipped the second one.
Mandarin. No,
No, that
Mandarin
was
was 3.
that was the one with the electric shock.
The 2 Avengers. Now the 3rd.
Remember
But
what?
see, that's
And that's it.
the good thing with the Avengers movies. Like, you don't have to watch all the individual installments. You can, but you don't have to.
I will say this though, my biggest bitch about the Avengers is, and I think you guys would agree, Avengers 1 and Avengers 2 were almost the exact same fucking movie.
Which one?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
There was nothing really that special to separate them. This, however, felt fresh, it felt new, it felt completely
You're
different.
just happy because all the Avengers fucking died and you hate Marvel.
No, if I hated Marvel, I wouldn't have seen Doctor Strange 4
Yeah.
times in theaters. I wouldn't have gone to see the Avengers in theaters. I wouldn't be sitting here discussing this with you.
I mean, the only movie I didn't see was Black Panther, and even when I did
Oh
watch...
fuck yeah, I forgot I saw that one.
Yeah, you saw Black Panther. I did. But I felt like I didn't have to watch Black Panther to watch the Avengers, to understand it.
That's as far as
Because in that movie, if you're telling me where the Soul Stone is, you didn't explain it in the fucking Black Panther
That's
movie.
not Black Panther.
I know now.
But the end credit scene with Bucky played a role in the Avengers because the delivering of the arm was one of the end credit scenes. Also,
Spoilers,
T'Challa.
I haven't seen Black
Well, this is spoiler. If you're watching
Yeah, I
this,
know.
and we've told you 20 times, it's
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
yeah.
T'Challa comes out and informs the world of Wakanda, and I believe it was Captain America that made mention of how he knew how to get to Wakanda.
Yeah.
When they were flying in.
But do you know why they took his arm? Why they took Winter Soldier's arm? Basically, in the end of Civil War, they took his arm was already ripped off. Well, they had their. He's the one that wound up killing Tony Stark's parents.
Mhm.
So
Right.
he had to literally reprogram everything. He was in cryostasis, and Steve said before they put him under, take his arm and bury it for a while. If he gets that put back on, he's going to go back to the mentality that he has to follow these certain code phrases, and once he hears that, he goes all assassin on everybody. So that was the reason why he didn't have. He still didn't have an arm going into that part of that scene particularly.
This next part, what I'm going to ask, is going to be possible spoilers for the second one. Out of who's left, who else is likely to die in the second? I thought somebody said Thor dies in this.
Thor does die.
So does
Yes.
Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Rocket kills him.
Rocket with Nebula.
Yeah,
with
the
him.
two of them kill him.
I'm also of the guessing that Black Widow dies.
But, yeah.
I believe Black. I think you and I talked about this. I think we actually mentioned it earlier. Now that I think about it, I think Black Widow gets killed by Thanos, and that's what triggers Hulk again.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
we-
was saying. That's
we
what I
discussed
said. I'm
it.
pretty sure you said it earlier. But I mean that. As far as everybody else, I mean, I would say Iron Man would have to, Scarlet would have to,
Mhm.
probably Hawkeye.
Okay. I think everybody but Rocket and Gamora, not Gamora, I'm sorry, fucking.
Gamora dead now.
I know,
She done been dead.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
went free falling.
Yeah, literally.
Free. Oh.
yeah, Rocket and, yeah,
Rocket and
Nebula are going to be the only ones that are going to be left standing. I
Oh,
honestly
so
think,
I
Not
remember that.
Captain Marvel.
well, I don't know.
I don't know how much of a
know.
role she's gonna play.
I think it's going to be a significant role if they're phoning her in.
Not to mention the fact that they're gonna make a movie about her, so you guys know.
Well,
what-
Captain
They're,
Marvel.
they're going to pull a
are
page
pretty
out of.
popular.
They're pulling a page out of
DC.
DC's book.
Wonder Woman.
The first time you saw Wonder Woman was next to Batman and Superman, the two of the most iconics. So you're going to put Captain Marvel into one of the biggest superhero installments of all time.
Mhm.
That's exposure beyond belief.
Stark and
Well,
freaking.
So I don't think
they
they're
didn't do
going
it
to.
exactly the same. Because,
I don't think they're going to bring her in and poo-poo on her.
Well, I hope
God no,
not.
dude, she's amazing.
She'll get. I think she'll get some cool spots in.
I mean, they did it a little bit differently because with Wonder Woman, she actually showed up and did stuff. In this one, they just went, "Oh, we called Captain Marvel," and then that was the end of the movie. And
But
was it,
that's
so-
priming you to get you ready.
Right, but that's the only difference is they didn't actually have her show up and do something already in the movie like what they did because during not Justice League but during Batman
Batman
vs Superman, she was actually there to help
Well,
fight.
here's what I wonder, and Steven, you might know a little bit more than I, but I'm thinking I never heard about Captain Marvel until they got closer and closer to the Avengers. I think they're trying to keep Captain Marvel as hush hush as possible
Mhm.
because they want to make this just as badass or more badass than Superman.
You're gonna be hard
Really,
pressed.
because there's actually a half-leaked trailer of Captain Marvel out.
Well, it's not the whole. What I'm saying is they're not. They don't want to spoil this new origin story at all.
It's true.
And you didn't see that with Iron Man or Cap or any Thor or whatever.
I will say this: I didn't see that actually coming.
What?
Captain Marvel being spoiled in this movie.
I didn't
That
either.
was a nice surprise. They
Yeah.
made you wait through like 50 hours of
Oh,
credits.
shit, I had to pee.
Well, and my and
I
my,
did,
my
dude.
thinking is too, and I told Steve I totally spaced it, but at the end of the first Captain America movie, you forget that Red Skull got banished because he touched the stone. So that's why he was banished to that area because he touched the damn stone, and no human being is allowed can or should touch the stone.
That's what happens when Voldemort touched the Sorcerer's Stone.
God, there's so many parallels to Harry Potter in this movie.
It's like it's the same movie.
I see,
But-
when he came up with those robes, I looked at Jessica's like, holy shit, it's a Dementor.
The one thing that I'm trying to think how I want to word this. The one thing I'll say that they didn't spend a lot of time on that I'm kind of disappointed with was they didn't spend a whole lot on the Soul Stone.
I would disagree. I thought that had one of the most impactful moments of the movie.
Right, but they didn't. But if you think about it, so throughout the movie you have the Tesseract and the Power Gem for the majority of the movie.
Well,
Okay.
they chased the Time Stone for a while.
Right, but they showed those two what they can do pretty much throughout the movie. The Reality Stone they showed when he got it from the Collector, which I'll go into something else about him too. And then you have the Time Stone. They showed what it does, and then they showed. They didn't show, or then they showed the Mind Stone, which was obviously Vision.
And we already
Destroyed
knew
twice.
And we already knew enough about that. But
Yeah.
the Soul Stone, you didn't, unless.
You watched Captain America?
No, this was the first time Soul Stone was ever introduced.
What does the Soul Stone do?
I'm pretty sure it kills him.
Well, I was gonna say if it had any like resurrection powers, it could bring back.
Harry Potter?
But if that's true,
It
why
could bring
wouldn't?
back all of
But if
them.
that's true, why wouldn't Thanos just bring back Gamora?
I don't.
Loose end.
But see, my question is, and I'm glad you brought this up. Obviously, he did love Gamora,
Which is
but
something-
my question is, how much? If you're willing to throw her off, if you have the ability to literally bring her back, you already have the stone. Bring her back. Why don't you?
He's not going to.
They made it very clear. They went extra time on that one to make sure that you understood how much he cared. The scene where like half of the heroes are holding down Thanos, trying to pry the glove off of him, and Mantis
which was really cool.
yeah, that was a really cool spot. And Mantis was like, as the information kept becoming more clear, he was torn up about having to kill her. So he would like this was like his inner actual thoughts. He couldn't bullshit through this. He actually felt remorse for killing her. What are you fucking doing?
I just read what the Soul Stone does.
Okay, well, what does it do?
It allows the user to steal, control, manipulate, and alter living and dead souls. The Soul Gem is also the gateway to the idyllic pocket universe. At full potential, the Soul Gem grants the user control over all life in the universe. So when he snapped his fingers,
They're coming back. They're all coming back.
See, you can see Doctor Strange again. Good
Hell
for you,
yeah.
buddy.
Oh, so you're saying when what? No, I'm not saying anything about Doctor
Okay.
Strange. I'm just saying, what part? When did he snap his fingers?
At the very end.
Is that? Are you
Because
talking
remember
about-
when he
And then he
says.
disappears.
Because remember when he says you should have went for the head.
Yeah.
Right,
Snap.
snap his fingers. That's right. You're right. You're right. I totally fucking remember now.
Because the power and Tesseract were used the majority of the movie.
Right.
Obviously.
Okay. I now remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even then they referenced it when Gamora was talking to the Guardian, saying
That
he
he
could
could-
snap his fingers and basically kill half the universe.
Yeah, and that's what he did because he did that and he snapped and then he disappeared and all of a sudden everybody started dying and he's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Although,
I didn't catch that.
hang on, there was something that I was trying to pinpoint. The minute he snaps his fingers,
Stop it.
they go into either A, a flashback, or B, a dream.
He was.
And I'm going to go with a dream.
I'm gonna say dream.
Yeah. But Thanos is standing there with little Gamora.
Or do you think he used like an alternate reality?
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's true.
You could-
That
He
could
has the
be.
power to do it.
No, you're right. I can agree to that.
Literally like
but
3 or 4 different.
Gamora says, "Did
Was it
you
worth
do
it?
it?" And then she goes into
How
or no,
much did it cost?
how much did it cost? And he says everything.
And then I think she asked if was it worth it, and then that part cut away
Yeah.
That's when the end of the movie happened.
because he was standing like. It was kind of like Napoleon after he had conquered everything. He sat down and he wept because there's nothing left to conquer. And that was kind of what Thanos. I mean, he's got big dick glove, so he rules the fucking land.
Yeah.
Like there is no higher power than him.
The other thing that I did like too is they explained how the gauntlet was made.
By the way, first off, Peter Dinklage was in this fucking movie as a giant hobbit. It was the greatest fucking thing I've ever
Hagrid.
seen. Yes. Peter Dinklage is amazing. He's in Game of Thrones. He is actually, you know,
A little person.
a little
in real life.
person. And he.
You're our favorite little person.
But that was great. But there's another thing I read online, and I think this will make an interesting theory if it comes true in the second one. That there's a little known character in the Marvel universe. See, Peter Dinklage. Little known character that I can't remember the exact name, but he basically goes by the one above all. And the theory is that Stan Lee is that person. And that's why he keeps appearing in all the Marvel movies, is that he's the most powerful being in the universe above
If
Thanos.
that's how they wrap up Stan Lee, that's the perfect way to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. But also, I think I might have figured out how the second one is going to happen.
Well, he's gonna be standing over a pile of dead, dusty corpses.
There's going to be one other person that
Wrong.
comes after him, though.
They're all leaves now.
Well, because I'm trying to think of how this is worded. So there's another gentleman. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Who is after the Infinity Gauntlet?
Is it Deadpool?
No. But I'm pretty sure he will be introduced into this next film.
Is it Punisher?
No. It's called Adam Warlock.
Okay.
And he actually gets an army to take out Thanos and steal the gauntlet. And he may be introduced to help the Avengers.
Is he a bad guy?
Yes.
Oh,
Very bad.
Yes. He is actually originally created from Thanos.
interesting.
Yes. And again, if you haven't seen Guardians 2, he's in the deleted scene, or I'm sorry, the end credit scene, to where he's created.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work out, but it's going to be the enemy of my enemy is also my friend.
Yeah.
That's how they're going to work that.
Until he gets it, and then he fucks the whole world.
Exactly. Which
Oh, time.
Adam Warlock is the second
53.
best known enemy of the Avengers.
Well, to you, not to me. I didn't even know what the fuck that was.
I didn't either. Until
Watch Guardians.
Yeah.
I actually have
it's
watched
okay.
it. I could get it on DVD and watch it.
It's funny because like my first take on the Guardians was what I saw in this movie, and when I first saw them, I just thought they were a bunch of fucking hippies.
No, but I mean, there's an actual story behind the Guardians, and in order to understand why Gamora and Nebula are the way they are, you have to watch Guardians 1 and Guardians 2.
I mean, they made it pretty self-explanatory with Gamora that she didn't have a great childhood. She hated her father, and she didn't agree with his ideology on what he was going for.
Okay, so I can actually explain this because I watched the second one. So what was happening was Gamora and Nebula were siblings, and Thanos would make them fight, and whenever one of them would lose, he'd take a body part from them, and it was always
Nebula.
Nebula. That's why she looks like she does, and why she's got so many robotic parts, is because he would take human or whatever legitimate body part from her and put a robotic part in its place to try and make her stronger than
Because I
before.
think even in
Boy, that's
the,
gonna backfire.
even in the second one, I'm pretty sure Nebula says he ripped my brain out and put in a new one.
Yeah, Thanos literally destroys her from the inside out and completely
Because
replaces
I
her.
do remember her saying like that it was my brain was so close to becoming out of my head that it was
Mm-hmm.
something I can't remember the last part of that line.
Well, you could see her brain in the movie today, and it did not look like a regular brain.
But see, and I was really sad because one of the tearjerkers for me is when Quill has this opportunity to, after he makes that deal with Gamora, whatever happens, if something goes wrong or something goes down, kill me.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there like, okay, getting ready to kill her, and then he just shoots bubbles out of his gun.
Well, let's be
That
real.
was Thanos.
Thanos was not going to let her die.
no,
Yeah.
Not
no.
then.
No, and it had everything to do with the Soul Stone because she knew she had access to the Soul Stone. She knew how to get it,
Mm-hmm.
And she was
more-
needed to
and-
get it.
and she was needed to get it because if he
Yeah.
didn't have her, he couldn't sacrifice anything because he didn't have anything else
Well,
he cared about.
it was the funniest thing though. Is saying he's like, I like you, and then he just warps out, and I'm just like, God, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I also think that one other character who's going to play a major role in the next one is going to be one who played a minor role in this one.
There were a couple of those people.
The Collector.
I thought he died.
Nope. He didn't die.
They don't really show you what happened to him because when you get revealed that they weren't in the right reality,
Yeah.
when you got to real time, everything was on fire and he wasn't there. So
Yeah.
he may be alive, he may be dead.
I don't recall that was the. I thought the Collector was the guy from Jurassic Park.
No, the guy from Jurassic Park is Quill.
Yeah.
No. From the original three.
Jeff Goldblum?
That's the guy. He was in Guardians 2.
No.
He was in Guardians 2.
No, he wasn't.
No, you're thinking of Ragnarok.
He was in Thor.
Oh, he was in Ragnarok.
Yeah,
you're right.
I was about to look it up.
No. No, the Collector is the white-haired gentleman with Howard the Duck and everything. But he's a quote-unquote collector of stones, and he was guarding the Reality Stone.
Okay. So
'Cause-
Jeff Goldblum is no.
Because in
is
Guardians
not important.
1, you get two stones revealed. The Reality and the Power.
Yeah.
Because Power is the one that kills Ronan. On that. Yeah.
Ronan.
In the Guardians 1?
Oh, I didn't watch Guardians 1.
Yeah. Ronan's killed by the Power Stone.
I was thinking Quicksilver's like that. He didn't fucking die for them. And
He got
like that.
shot.
He got fucking shot.
Which Scarlet lost 2 members in 2 straight films.
And now she's dead.
She joined them.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch is dead.
Well, I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to add to it? Or do you guys want to wrap this up with
Let's talk about Deadpool 2 now.
That's another
let's
podcast.
save that for another podcast. But I mean, I think we've kind of reached a good stopping point as it.
As it pertains to the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the second one.
I mean, overall, I'd say a 10 out of 10. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.99999. I mean,
I-
it's as close to 10 as you're going to get.
Yeah,
without
'cause
any 10.
there's always going to be the little things that you're just like, okay, why?
But you have to dig.
Yeah, you really have to dig with this to try to find those little itty bitty inconsistencies throughout the film.
You mean like how Scott ruined the whole fucking movie in the first 30 seconds?
Take away that this could have all been fucking prevented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But you know what? It's like what Bruce Banner said. We didn't think of it. That's probably what happened. They didn't think about it.
well, you want to close it out for him, Colin?
Well, for everybody here at the Four Corners Podcast, Colin,
Zach.
Steven.
Scott.
this has been another episode. I'm tired. I think I just got the text message that my pizza's on its way. So
Only 2 hours later.
right on time. So we'll see you on another episode.
See you guys.
Later.